You have seen it on YouTube, you have seen it on Twitter, heck, you have seen it in VS Code itself. One feature is literally everywhere, dark mode. And today I'm going to show you the simplest way to add a dark light theme toggle in your React app using a custom hook called useDark. Most tutorials throw in providers, reducers, or full theme libraries just to change a background color. And you are left wondering, why is this harder than building the whole app? But here is a simpler way. Just one hook, one class, and end design. And once you have seen how simple this is, you will start using it in every single React project you build. So let's go. So our React app is already running on port 3000. As you see, it is currently showing a simple dashboard heading and few cards, which is used from end design. Now let's jump into the VS Code. So this is our initial boilerplate code in our app.js, where we are using end layout from end design as a wrapper, and inside that we have got an h1 tag which is showing the dashboard heading, and here are some custom component which is dashboard card. So let me just show you one of them. So here we have just used a card from end design and h3 and pre-deck, nothing fancy here. Now we'll start by creating our custom hook called useDark.jsx in our hook folder. So let me do that. So useDark.jsx. So this hook does two things. It remembers your theme using localStorage, and it toggles a dark class on the body tag whenever the theme changes. So let's break it down. Our idea is to have a boolean flag that tells our app whether the current theme is dark or light. This flag will control how our component renders and will flip it when the user clicks the switch. Let's start by declaring and exporting our custom hook. So here let's get const useDark with arrow syntax, and let's export this hook. Export default useDark. Okay. Now we have to create a useStat, which will be the flag as we have discussed, to change the dark theme into the light and light to dark. So let's create a boolean flag here. So const is dark, set is dark, and by default we want the light theme, so that's why we'll keep a false here. Okay. Now next thing is we'll need a function to toggle the theme, right, from light to dark and vice versa. So let's create a toggle function for it. So const toggle theme is equal to array syntax, set is dark, previous value whatever we have, previous is equal to not previous. Pretty simple. This flips the flag whenever the user clicks on the switch. Now we need to update the body class whenever the theme changes. So let's use a use effect for it. So let's write a use effect, and it will run whenever our this is dark is getting changed. So we have to pass it in the dependency. So is dark. Okay. Now when this flag change, we have to add the dark class, and we have to set the theme in the local storage, or we have to remove the dark class or set the theme into the light theme into the local storage. So now let's do that. So here first we have to get the body of our document. So document dot body, and if is dark is true, in this case we have to add the dark class in our body tag. So body dot class list dot add dark class, and also we have to set the theme into our local storage. So local storage dot set item, and theme will be dark. And if is dark is false, means it is a light theme, right? So we have to remove the dop class, and also in the local storage we have to set the light theme. So else body dot class list dot remove the dark class, and also on local storage we have to set item theme as light. So what is happening here? If useDark is true, we add the dark class to the body and save the dark to local storage. And if useDark is false, then we are removing that and making our theme to light. Now we have to finally return the values from our hook so we can use them in our component like app.js, right? So let's return these two values. Return useDark and its setter function, which is toggle theme. So yeah, hook logic complete. Now let's plug our shiny new hook into our app.js. Okay, so let's come to app.js. Here we have to use our useDark hook. So let's import it, and it is returning us two things: useDark value and its toggle function. So toggle theme function, it is returning from useDark hook. Okay, we have imported from our hooks useDark component. Now to give user control, we'll add a toggle switch at the top of the app. Okay, so on clicking on that, user will be able to change the value of useDark. So let's do that. So inside a div, we'll create a switch. Switch is basically a component from design, as you can see here, right? So switch, and it takes the boolean flag if it is true or false. So we have to pass as a checked, and here what is our boolean flag? It is dark. So is dark, and we have to pass a function to change the value on its onChange value. So on change, we have to pass what is a function value is toggle theme. So toggle theme, and also whenever the switch is getting changed, I want some other icon. Okay, so if it is checked right, then in that case I want to use bulb filled icon from design. Okay, you can see here as I have already imported that. And if it is unchecked children, then I need to use it from bulb outlight. Now let's keep this switch at the center also. So let's add some styling on the its parent. So display flux justify content center, and I want some margin from bottom. So let me add that margin bottom 24 pixels. Yep. Now let's test it. So here in this app, if I click on it, it gets changed. Okay, so now let's inspect it also if it is adding the class dark. Okay, so here if I click on it, the class gets removed, and if I click on it, it gets added. So as you can see, it's working fine. Okay, now let's close the depth tool and come back to the VS Code. Now we have to write some simple style in our index.css for dark mode, right? So here, if body dot dark class is added in the body, then I want background color to be dark. So let me create it as 1E1E1E. Okay, it's dark background color, and the text color should be white. So F5, F5, F5. And also I want some transition here. So let me add that transition. I want on 0.3 second is. And in our app.js also, we use layout, right? So we have to change the color here also, but it will be based on the useDark flag, right? So if in background color we have to check useDark is true, then I need has 1E, whatever the color we have used in the index CSS, we'll be using the same. And here as F0, F2, F5. And also if it is dark theme, then I want to change the color of this heading. Right now it is white. So if it is dark, I want to change it. So if it's dark, then I want to make it in the white. Otherwise it will be in the black. So let's add that. So now let's see if it is working fine or not. So here, if I am clicking on this, see, it's getting changed. Also, the color of this dashboard is getting changed. Right? Now, but if you noticed, our cards are still there. Nothing is getting changed over here. So now let's do that. So here, we have to pass this useDark as a prop into this dashboard card component. So let's pass that. useDark is equal to useDark. So let me copy and pass each of our custom components. Okay, now let's go inside these custom components and extract the value here useDark. Okay, and here based on useDark flag, I need to change its color. So let's do that. So background color, if is dark, same way we have done in the app.js for switch and heading. So we'll be doing here as well. So let me add some colors here. 2B, and if it is, then white. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's correct. Now I need to change the border also. So if useDark is true, then I want 1 pixel solid width as 5 color. Else I want 1 pixel solid with this color. Let me add the comma here also. And also I want to change the box shadow. So let me do that after this. useDark. If it is dark color, then I want text to be in white, right? So it has FFF. And otherwise it will be 0. And for box shadow, we're doing the same thing. useDark is true. Then I want 0, 4 pixel, 10 pixel with RGBA, which will be 0, 0, 0 and 0.4. And if it is not dark, then I want the same thing. Let me copy this, but within different color. So I'll make it 0.1 opacity with 410 pixels. Okay, so now we have done the styling for dark mode. So now let's check if it's working fine or not. So here, let's see. It's working as we have expected. So on color changing and toggle switch, we are able to change the color of our card also. Okay, let's make the toggle switch visually reflect the same theme too. Okay, so now let's come to our VS Code. Now here in switch tag, I need to write some styles also. Okay, and also those styles will be based on our useDark flag. So I want background color. If it is useDark is true, then I want as FATB14. Else I want as 333 this color. Okay, and also I want to change the border of this. So border 1 pixel solid #888. Now let's see. Yeah, so now as you can see, its color is also getting changed. Looks better that way, right? Now everything update instantly whenever the user flip the switch. Now what happens if user chooses the dark mode and refresh the page? Oops, it goes back to light mode. Let's fix that. by reading the value from the local storage. Okay, so let me show you also in the local storage if it is storing the theme or not. Okay, so here whatever theme we are doing, it is storing into our local storage, right? So we can use this as our initial value. So in the VS Code, let's go to our useDark. Here we have set it by default false, right? So let's fix it by reading the value from local storage when the component mounts first. Okay, so here I'll remove the false and I want the value return local storage dot get item. We have to get the theme, whatever we are setting here in these, we have to get that initially and check if our theme is equal to dark, right? So is equal to dark, then it will be true, otherwise it will be false. Now let's check if it is fix the issue or not. So here I make the theme dark and I'll try to refresh it. See, even after refreshing it, it's keep the state of dark. So yeah, just like that, you have built a fully functional dark light theme toggle in React. One hook, one CSS class and one switch button, and just like that you have feels like it belongs to 2025. If this saved you from hours of theme context pain, drop a like and subscribe from more simple powerful tutorials. Until next time, keep coding in the dark or light, your choice.